Hey guys, welcome to another week. As you may see from the title, this is going to be our weekly post, and I usually write it, but who has the time? And with all of the energetic shifts that have been happening, I'm super sensitive to that. If you follow my channel, thank you so much. Then you know those portal days are no joke. Those full moons are no joke. We just went through the Lionsgate portal. So I wonder how you guys are feeling. I know I've been hearing from some of you through the DMs. And either way, we just gotta keep rolling with it. But I did miss the last 2 weeks, I believe, in doing the weekly reading. So I'm feeling I might miss this one. So I thought since I already just put out a video, let me go ahead and just do a video for the weekly. All right, so here it is. I'm gonna keep this one short. I always say that, and then Spirit's like, actually, you're not. So actually, I am. But actually, let's see how it goes. But I'm gonna keep this as short as possible. I've drawn four cards, and I'm gonna be channeling as usual. And without further ado, let's jump in. And if you haven't had a chance to check out the, what did I just do? The Taurus reading, go ahead and check it out. It's a callback to the July 2025 reading, which, and the June 2025 reading. If you know and you are here for a spiritual mission, then Spirit has been working on you. And I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. The thing that they're working on the most right now with people who are serving others in this capacity is to get rid of the victim consciousness. You cannot have an I am victim self-concept and have a high frequency I am the God self-concept. And so if you are watching this and you've been getting that message, then the message is for you that it's time to ascend higher in your consciousness. And now is the time where you just have to make the choice for agency and, personal responsibility and understanding your sovereignty, which means understanding what you are. All right. So anyway, I talked about it already in the Taurus reading and then some in the last few readings. So just go ahead and check it out. For right now, let's jump into the weekly reading because I have to go and love you. You know where to find me if you want any sessions, you know where to find me. All right. So I'm going to switch cameras and be on with it. Boom. All right. Hey, and because I like to have my mirror show what's really going on, let me go ahead and switch orientations. All right, so let's jump into the weekly reading. This reading is going to be for the week of, I heard April, May, August 11th, 11, 12, 24, 15, 16, 17, August 11th to August 17th. Let's see. Already, didn't we talk about making choices? Yeah. Thank you, Spirit. All right. So for this week, if you are, yeah, this is like this. Lots of stepping stones. And in the Taurus reading I just posted, there is this idea of procession and progression and taking one step at a time, which we would experience as being a little bit all over the place. But if we zoomed out a little bit more, we would experience it as being more linear because we would be able to connect the dots and the themes of what we are doing in our life and finalizing things over here and over there. But then if we zoom out even further, we understand that it's actually a lot more complex because not only with each choice that we're making are we activating certain timelines and portals and all of that, but we're also deactivating certain things and cleaning up and doing all sorts of stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and pull us back down to this perspective here or a little bit higher so that we can get just a quick in and out message. All right, so first of all, the first thing I'm being called to do is that some of you have already made this choice. See the 3 and 3, you've already made it. Notice I had to separate this. The choice I'm talking about is a choice of, hey man, who are you? Because as you know, whatever your self-concept is, whether you are consciously aware of the self-concept you're working with or unconsciously aware of it, whatever that self-concept is, that is going to be the energy that is being emitted out into the universe. The universe must comply to that vibration that you're sending out. Why? Why would that be the case with a full H sound? Why? Because of what you are. You are, and say it again with me, you are a sovereign, multidimensional co-creator being. Made in the image and likeness of what? Your creator. All of that language boils down to simply saying, hey man, you're in control here. It's all based on your self-concept. Whatever you say you are is what is going to be emitted out into the universe. And that's because you were created to be sovereign. Sovereign means you have your free will, you have your choice. Now, some of you may struggle a bit because you're down here and you're like, but I didn't choose this. Yeah, you didn't choose it from the conscious mind perspective. And actually, if you just stepped into your friendly local therapist office who is not working with hypnotism or their clairs, their clairsentience, their clairaudience channeling, all that, they could simply show you how actually, well, you actually did make certain choices when you did this. And even you'd be like in 10 minutes, like, oh yeah, I guess I did. Ha ha ha. But then imagine those who are able to look right into your energy field and see it. And imagine you if you could sit and you could actually get into your shadow work and touch those vows you've made with yourself and understand the reality of what it is that you actually know to be the case, but you're choosing on some unconscious possibly, but also maybe some not so deep consciousness, you're choosing to do. So either way, if you found this message, Spirit is saying you have more choice, you have more say in the matter than you are allowing yourself to believe. Notice we said allowing because that recognizes you as what you are, a sovereign being with full responsibility because you have creative ability and you are in command. It is your personal belief, your self-concept that is driving everything, and you're the one choosing the self-concept. Now, that's the reality of what you are. Now, while you're down here, you can pretend that that's not what you are, right? But spirit doesn't suffer any fools. I added that. Spirit is not out here. I think people may say, oh, God is not mocked. All of this says the same thing. It means, listen, you can believe certain things about yourself. You can talk up and down about how you're this, you're that, good, bad, the ugly. Spirit is recognizing one truth about you. And that's the truth that God gave you. God created you to be. And anything else from a higher perspective is your choice because you're a free will co-creator being. So that's the sovereignty that you have, right? You're so sovereign and you're so filled with your creative free will that you can even choose to not see that as a reality. And hence, here we are living this physicality that is here. So spirit is appealing to those of you who would like to see what actually is more real about you if you were willing to step into higher consciousness. Higher consciousness, if you're watching this video, is at the level where now you must pay attention to personal responsibility. You cannot be on the fence anymore. On the fence looks like, oh, I think I am, but I'm going to be this, I'm going to do that. No, it's either you're going to move in alignment. It's either, no, let's back it up even more. It's either you're going to declare yourself as the God self in and of your creator, made in his image and likeness, her image and likeness, its image and likeness. It doesn't matter. All it means is that you have these abilities because it is your birthright. Or you can continue to be down here and believe whatever myriad of identities the world would have you believe and you would have you believe because you want to align with certain things that you see in the world. It's very simple, right? It's very simple, but it's actually not. It's a call for greater authenticity. It's a call for greater integrity. Now, back, not fast forward, flashback. Flashback to believe January in the January, one of the January readings, I mentioned to you that 2025 is going to be a year of what? Integrity. As we were ending 2024, collectively speaking, everybody was working on identity, choosing what they would like to identify. And we saw that playing out, and we still do see it to a certain degree playing out on this in this collective field we call the world. A lot of people being up in arms about what they see on TV and what their family members said and who they decided not to have come to the family reunion, all that stuff, because people are trying to learn to identify with what? With what their I mean policies. But it's interesting. The guys are giving a little tongue in cheek there. They're saying policies. We want to really say identify with your own inner authority, but we can't even get to that word because energetically we're moving to the word policies because most of humanity is moving on political policies right now. And if you are in that line and you're identifying with all these things, whatever they be, you are choosing not to identify with, as Spirit just put the word in my mouth, source. Because source is its own. It's literally what you come from. It is what you are. And it's either you're choosing to believe what it has been said and taught to you about who you are and what you blah, 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 or you want to go straight to the source and understand what you are. And the only way into that is through you, right? You can also come hit me up because that's the frequency we work on. We meaning me and my spirit team. Hey, they're here. They're shouting out some of you. Hey, right? Oh, I just heard the word Michael. For somebody. I don't know, is that someone's name? Is that who you, right? Unless it's Michael, But anyway, they see you. Now I do see some of you during this week will already be well on your way into counseling with the beings, with your non-physical beings who you may or may not be consciously aware of, as they help you to work on this sacred curricula, this holy curriculum, or whatever you want to call it, this I am divinity, this I am divine self. Now, I am the divine self. Now, if you remember, I told you guys in one of the readings, I don't know before, that Spirit was, oh, because my teachers teach me all of this. This is how I know these things. I really have tried to go inward now and work with my teachers as opposed to really just going out. Anyway, but long story short, they always bring me information ahead of time and then I kind of share it here. And they had me buy this deck of tarot cards, and I told you guys about it because this deck of tarot cards in particular, oh, there it is. Oh, I'm just, you know me, I'm just out here pulling cards. But anyway, this deck of cards is specifically to work with those who've stepped into their divine I am self. In other words, these cards are what I would use to read for people who have decided to align with what? With whom? The God within. In other words, the Christ consciousness. Again, not religious at all. This has nothing to do with religion. If you're on my channel, you will always see that I move from energy first, meaning I tap into the field and I work from the higher realms, so top down. Now, what these doctrines and what these ideas and blah, blah, blah have been made to mean on this planet is not where I work, because that's the equivalent of moving in the space of the world, and that's not reality, right? And so top down looks at the Christ itself, which means the complete, unadulterated, untainted, unprogrammed template as God created, right? And they would say the Son of God, this daughter of the Christ consciousness, the Son of Christ consciousness. Whatever you want to say, that it again, it's not religious. It just refers to all of creation in its entirety, in its whole self. So at that level of being, you're not in this fragmented, oh, I said and he said and they said and we said and you said and that tree over there, and that, no, this is all fragmented reality. The reality is oneness, oneself, right? And so this is what these cards are showing. That is your God self, because when you are in that state of being, the consciousness is so whole, it is so pure, it is so provided for, it's total. So there's no such thing as lack. So that's when you realize, oh, that's what we mean by divine providence. Divine providence is the same as saying, I am. I am whole. And when you're whole, you don't lack anything. And so you're not seeing false concepts like winning and losing, gaining, and loss, and giving and receiving as different, and forgiveness and all that stuff. They don't exist because it is all one. So you can't give to something and augment that thing, but lose something on your end. You're giving to yourself. Do you understand? And so when you move with this kind of self-concept, this is literally the definition of invincibility, because the mind is not corrupt. But here on this planet, we do have corrupted minds, and it's by design. That's why we have the forgetting. So you may ask, well, Jay, well, if this whole self is like kind of far out of reach right now, and we're down here literally having personalities and bodies and all sorts of separation ideas and such and manifestations of the separated mindset, then why are we even trying to move towards this idea, which seems false, of wholeness? Well, simply stated, you will experience and you will make in this physical world what you believe yourself to be. So as long as you are allowing yourself to be programmed about what you are and what reality is and what your goals should be and your desires should be and what your past is and maybe what your future is, all by anything you see on TV, the people that you grew up with, all of this, you're being led down pathways that are away from wholeness. So your job is to right the ship. Look at her looking. She's like, are you sure? She's literally thinking about it. Maybe I don't know. Well, spirits like you better let me know because the hot air balloon is coming by. And if you want to jump on this train and step into your divine self, let us know. That's this week. So I feel that this week, a lot of you will be continuing. And I think over the next 4 to 6 months, for some of you, and did I hear 4 to 6 years? IDK. But, oh, okay, 4 to 6 years, depending on who you are, because maybe you'll make some choices that'll take you off on some type of side quest or something. But I'm hearing over the next 4 to 6 months, this is the training that's coming in. Spirit is working with you to help you purify the self, purify the mindset. It's all your state of consciousness. For what? So that you can align. It's either you're in alignment with your reality, which is the God self, God within, or you are out of alignment with your reality, which is your ego self. Now, on this planet, you must have some type of ego to have an individuated experience. That's the mini I am. But the way that you fall short of your path is when you start to believe that I am Janelle and I am a teacher and I work at this company and that's the false self. And you see a lot of people falling by the wayside with this AI stuff right now. I asked Spirit the other day, I was like, okay, so like, what are we thinking here? Because I have my thoughts on it. And they said simply, hey, I'm paraphrasing, of course. Of course, I'm paraphrasing this. They're like, hey, I'm gonna let you finish. Kanye style. They're like, hey, you can play with those things because God, gave you the free will. He said, go, my children, enjoy, blah, blah, blah. But the minute you start to identify that thing as yourself, problems, problems. A lot of people are now looking into AI. You see it on YouTube. People are like, I asked AI about the Akashic record. Why are you asking AI about the Akashic records? You asked AI about your past life. You asked AI. All you're doing is talking to the collective consciousness. You're talking to yourself. But you're not even talking to your higher self that has generative powers. Generative AI, just so you know, for example, does not generate, it doesn't create. All it does is it's machine learning. It looks at the data that you keep feeding into it over time. You've been feeding into it all this time, and it just has a larger and larger and larger and larger and larger and larger pool of data from which it can derive an answer. It will sound like the smartest professor you've met, or it can sound like this dumbest person you've met. It depends on the data that's in there. But the problem is when you start to identify as God, as some type of source of something, a machine that cannot create, there's no soul there. It cannot create. It's just spewing back to you thoughts and feelings and emotions and God knows what else coming from a traumatized humanity back to you, what collectively is going on, right? That's literally you wasting time in the corner. Literally a waste of time in the corner. Now, it's one thing to use it as a tool to help you with certain things, but then when you start to give away your creative powers, now you don't even want to write a resume using your own energy, your own signature. You want to outsource that, do you? Do you? That's literally the epitome of being stuck in a false world. If you want to be about something, you want to do something meaningful, if you want to move with the source that flows through you and to build upon that instead of drowning it out for the sake of productivity, for the sake of ease, All you're doing is saying to your higher self, to source, whatever you want to call it, oh, thanks, but no thanks. I'm gonna go here and dig a ditch here in this soil, and I'm gonna pour water in from the water we made at the plant over there. I'm gonna pour it in, and then I'm gonna go swimming in it. I'm going to be inspired by it. And I'm gonna do all that. It's man-made. It is artificial. It's not being used in a way that is smart, just like all kinds of innovations that come onto this planet. And see, this is the thing. This is how we get led away from what? The internal organic state, right? And so watch now, we have a lot of people aligning. This is just one example, but we have people aligning with religious beliefs that are very toxic to their self. Not all, but you know, you need to go here first and then connect with your higher self. And then with that whole set of eyes, look out into the world and see whatever thing we've created, whether it's philosophy, religion, poetry, architecture, industry, educational doctrine, whatever it is, using your inner authority, you look out into the world and then you discern what it is has value to you. If you're not doing that, you're going to play around and waste your time somewhere. So this is what Spirit is trying to say. And when you hear about timeline splits and people shuffling off into artificial timelines, which later on down reality looks like a fully mechanized place where it's dystopic, all that, it's because you're going in the wrong direction, right? Now, the only direction you should be going to is the self. Those who truly understand the self understand that anything that is made outside of the self, made in the physical, all of this, I don't care what it is, anything is second to the technology that you are. Why do you think, for those of you who follow ET stuff and doctrines and all that stuff, why do you think so many off-planet beings want to engage in some way here? Why do you think even human beings on this planet who are aware want to control? Because they want to control the consciousness. And so when what Spirit is saying, and it's a heavy message, maybe I needed to come on and say it as a video because I honestly I'm sitting here like for hours, right, trying to channel that one message because of the editing and stuff when I type it. And let me just say it. Spirit is saying people are making choices right now. And some people are going really off. Come back to what? The light. What is the light? The self. What is the self? You. What are you? A child of God. What is God? The creator. Where is God? Close your eyes. It's inside. That's it. Do you need to light candles? No. Do you need any paraphernalia? No. Do you need to bury something under the moonlight? No. Do you need to tie string? No. Do you need to cast bones? No. Do you need what? Just the answer is no. Because we understand that reality is inside of you. It is your consciousness. Okay? Now, it's one thing to have your consciousness hijacked very easily, just convince you that you're not in power, that you're a victim, and it'll be easy to pull you astray. So look at this card over here. Look, they're like, come on back. What are we doing? Come on back. The children of God. Now, it's so beautiful, though, that even though we're giving you this information here on the ground, here at this level of perspective where you are, Spirit always has love with it. And that's also the sign of the sign of the times. I like that. The sands of time. That is the sign of when you are connecting with something real. Because even though I'm talking to you about these effects that are put in motion when you keep straying, Spirit is like, listen, all you need to do is call out. Look at this guy. Hey, what's this about? And it's not like, oh dear Lord, come, come, my Lord, Caspian Sea. It's not dramatic. It's very simple. Like, oh, okay, well, this is interesting. Wow, this is an interesting mindset. And I think this week, feeling around Thursday, Tuesday to Thursday for some of you guys. I'm feeling in your energies here. Tuesday to Thursday for some of you. And Friday, they're saying for the one in the back. And I always say, one in the back. Hey, even you can you hear us? Around Friday, they're going to be showing you these things. So Spirit is going to be reaching out to you guys to say, hey, have you made a decision yet? Where you want to go? There's no judgment involved. It's just like, hey, another way to look at it is like, would you like to return to your trajectory where you were heading, what your soul wanted to do, which was to make headway? Or would you like to stay and play around and like explore a little bit here and just do some side quests, kind of do some lateral movements? And hopefully some of you aren't going to be making decisions that are just going to take you way off, right? But Spirit is saying, where are you and what would you like to do? As the universe is always asking you. All right. So some of you, I feel, again, have already made this decision. Some of you are kind of teeter-tottering, and sometimes we go back and forth, and that's completely understandable because guess what? You've been coming down, we've all been coming down here lifetime after lifetime to make this journey. But we're coming in hot and heavy this lifetime because why? This is a lifetime for lifetimes. This is a moment of transition for the whole human race, big time stepping into a whole new age, all these energies coming in, lots of stuff happening. People are wise enough now. They've got access to information enough now to make decisions. And so it's kind of like, you want to do it or what do you want to do? So that's the energy of this week. What is this card wants to come in? The Buddha prepares, but this card doesn't want to come. I swear, guys, I almost said, what is this card? It feels like the ego card. And what did I say? I just pulled this card and I said, the Buddha prepares. Oh, doesn't even want to come in yet because what's in the way? What? Oh, guys, listen. Sometimes I'm like, am I even talking about anything? And then I'm like, why are we even shuffling? Because of course I am. Spirit is saying, yeah, let's go. But we can't go yet because we're being blocked by what? We need this false ego to fall away. Like, yeah, you're going to have a name, you're going to have an address, you're going to have an idea, a mini self-concept of who you are and what you are. But here's the thing, you must draw the distinction. Yeah, I'm Janelle, as my guide said earlier. They were like, you years ago. And I was like, okay. I didn't know. They're like, your name is Janelle. And then they said my middle name, Williams. If you guys already know my last name. And you are a teacher, healer, and motivator. And everything you do comes from a standpoint of compassion. I was like, oh. Ah, it was one of my angels. I was like, oh, do you? I said all that and they understand. They probably stopped listening because they knew the message was delivered. And they had me write it down and put in the what do you call it? Dashboard? Yeah, the dashboard of my car. And I would always drive around with that and I would have to take it out and read it. And here to this day, I still remember it many years later. But I don't hold any ideas of this idea of Janelle Williams being who I am and what I am. I know what I am. I am a fragment of the divine. I am literally inside and of and part of source. That's it. That's all it is. Now I can choose to align with source or I could choose not to align with it. It's an alignment thing. How do you align? By way of your self-concept. Yeah, maybe tomorrow I want to be, Janelle or whatever. If I meet some guy that's looking kind of, we might have to downgrade a bit to play a bit. And Spirit's like, do you, Jay? We understand the back and forth because we're training. And I know that we're training, but see, from a level of spiritual maturity, I understand, I know what I am. So when I know what I am, a sovereign, multidimensional co-creator being made in the image of my creator, full divine providence, I have been given everything by source, and I've been denied nothing by source. I'm just having experiences here of limitation and lack and all of that because part of it is by design, by my soul contract, and part of it is because I keep buying into victim consciousness and all that, and part of that's because I haven't really reconciled with what source is. Source is divinity. It is divinity restored. It is you at your highest. It's love. It's that energy that says, okay, so you're not ready yet. All right, don't worry, we're here. Just give me a call. It's not the energy that says you're going to you must obey, you must. No. It's the energy that gives correction because we have false ideas. One of them is a big one, the chosen people or chosen ones. And that goes through a couple discourses, not just religious discourses. We see this in the New Age community too. Chosen, what chosen one? We are all one. There's one self. That is the sun. We're just broken up or experiencing ourselves as broken up into different personalities. For the sake of what? I don't know. Maybe God's like, play around a little, do your thing. But come back after before the gets dark. People out here, it's getting dark and people aren't coming back. Why? People are stuck. Some people are stuck, but in what? Their mindset. They want to play a bit longer. In what? In the I am or the I am not. They want to play a bit longer in the I am not and do your thing. But then don't turn around and blame source and your angels and your guides and your ancestors and whoever else we're blaming for the circumstances that we are experiencing. When you step into your I am, when you step consciousness, when you step into that divine self, when you take on the desire and even a little bit of willingness to find out what this divine frequency is. Oh my God, as I'm saying this, I see the devil card like pop up here and it's like bleeding up out to throw away. We can't even talk about this frequency without it throwing out the darkness, the I am not, the self-denial, self-doubt, all of this. And I know I'm seeing crows coming to ward it off, right? Because the frequency is too high. So spirit is saying in another way, you want to play around in the cesspool, go ahead. But understand that that's what you are doing. Don't suffer yourself any false ideas. The reality is you are a high vibrational being, very high frequency, and you're choosing to have an egoic experience down here, but you don't have to stay there. Buddha showed us that already. You don't have to stay there. And what did Buddha do under the Bodhi tree? Was he actually fighting demons out there? No, he was in his mind. Doing what? Denying the reality of what is not real. Anything that the Christ, not the Christ, the Creator did not create is not real, but we're going to have experiences of it being real as we play down here. Look at him rolling up his sleeves to play a bit in time and space. Yeah, let's go down to Earth. Let's do a little time and space play. Want to do some time play and space play? And next thing you're stuck in all these wars, whether it's the human wars or the galactic wars or the whatever, and the duality. This is, look, I don't even have to shuffle. This is prison time. No one's forcing you to reincarnate on this planet. You keep coming back because you're not learning the lesson. The lesson isn't to go further into the world, turning on your TV, getting angry at things, telling people they can't be your friend. They did all this stuff. This is ridiculous. Move out of that, Spirit is saying. For those of you who want to elevate yourself, and this is open to everybody. God chooses everybody. If you're down here, you have already been chosen. Chosen for what? For existence. But so have other aspects of creation that aren't currently on this planet. The idea of specialness gets people out of control, out of control. And that's how you pervert frequency. There is no chosen one that any real God consciousness, which is all of us in wholeness, said you. No, nobody. Instead, it's applied to everybody because everybody is what? One. We're just having a false belief because of the ego of separation. It's not real. Okay? You're in a world of your own making where you're seeing, look at this, look at Buddha. Buddha is like, oh yeah, these are all myself. But when we look with our human eyes, we see, oh, Billy and Bobby and Janny and Joe. No, we're all one. When God, the highest that sees, and that ancient source that is the creator of all, looks down, it sees one. It doesn't see all these many. It sees one because that is the reality of it. God doesn't see falsity. Okay, it's not real. And so the way that you prepare yourself is that you start to understand what you are. And you understand that what you are cannot be a victim. But we've all had victim stories. If I wrote a book, people would be like, oh my God, how are you Are you sane? How are you still here? I don't know. I should have been dead many millions of times, and somehow I'm still on this planet. I said, Spirit, you have a plan, but let me know and just don't make it painful anymore, right? But you have to understand that if you're here, yes, there's a reason. But that reason should never take you further away from yourself. And what is yourself? You are the God within, right? It's the same God that is the God of the cosmic consciousness. You're just having an experience of this individuality. That's it. But you're the same as everybody else. So anytime you talk to somebody who comes and talks to you about division, whether it's in the news, whether it's in the papers, whether it's in the friend circle, whether it's at your local religious group, whether it's at your local, what are people doing these days? I don't know, bowling alley. When they start coming to you about, oh, this guy, and you say, hey, all right, maybe you listen, maybe whatever. You can join them in their idea of things, but don't you dare mistake it for what you are. This is what they mean when they say, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. Because the idea is here they are crucifying their own self. They cannot recognize that when we pick up arms against others and we treat them in certain ways and we write certain things about people, all that, we're just talking about ourselves. And then on top of that, we're creating karmic responsibilities that we must then come back down here onto this earthly plane and live out an experience, if not in kind, in some other way, but the impact is going to be the same. Because what? When you put it out there, you're only hurting yourself because everything is you. You are a one-person show playing around in this idea of duality. So if we're look at this, even the duality card is now showing the sun. Bam. So if you are here, and what's on the other side? War, imprisonment, right? If you are here, oh, and they're like, don't forget this. Archangel Gabriel's out here like, we got you. Don't worry. We got you. We got you. But your job is to, there's you are super cute, but your job is to not listen to any people, places, things, situations, ideas, forms, any forms. See this guy here sitting next to you? Don't listen to it if they're talking to you about division, if they're talking to you about terrorizing others, if they're putting policy behind it, if they're putting money behind it, if they're elevating you in your own mind. Oh, well, you're part of the good group. You're part of the good classes. You're part of the good race. You're part of the good appearance. You're part of the good money. You're whatever it is, that is literally the bug in the ear. Get rid of it. You keep choosing to buy into that stuff. Stop plugging out, stop plugging into it. They're saying out, and I'll tell you in a second. Stop plugging into it, and you will clear the way. Now, the reason why they said stop plugging out is because they want to remind you of this mirror. We talked about it in those 3 videos in the July 2025 video that I put out. There were like 3 of them. 1, 2, and 3, parts 1, 2, and 3. It's like the mirror principle. This is you. This is the world. Look at him. He's at peace right now. But the minute he puts his hand out to do this, what comes out to do that? It's same thing. So you raise your arms, somebody's going to raise arms in you against you. If you say mean words, it's going to come right back to you. This is showing you how this world functions, number one, and it is showing you the grace of God, because the grace of God says you're only hurting yourself. You're not actually hurting anybody else. And when you keep, and this is talking to the soul, God bless the soul, when you keep coming back over and over and over and over and over again, making all of these soul contracts and all of this, all you're doing is trying to rid yourself of this belief that you are actually hurting people, that you're doing anything to anybody, that yeah, you're going to just keep yourself trapped because you are hurting others down here, right? But you're only making your own bed to lie in it later. And this concept is not something a lot of people understand yet, because we're still trying to get people to understand what they are. But spirit will say, once you get to this level of consciousness and you go higher, you will start to see it is just you. It has always been just you. In all of God's infinite wisdom, you're not actually hurting anybody, because spirit would not put you in a position to hurt others. You're hurting yourself on some level. And down here, you best believe that if you're carrying ideas that, oh, it's just Jeremy. Who's Jeremy? I don't know whose name that is. Somebody just said the name Jeremy. Reach out. I don't know. But if you're like hurting somebody because you think they're of a lesser nature than you or whatever, then that's a clear sign you need to learn some lessons. So spirit is using you and your own consciousness to project the world around you and seeing how you play, because this is how you show yourself what you need to work on. Or you can be like Buddha, who's like, yeah, bump all that noise. Let me see what's going on here. Show me another way. Now, the Buddha talks about the middle way, right? But we all know that Buddha left the world. What did he do? He left his illusions behind. These are illusions. And he understands that. And he understands that the only way to make peace with this world is to make peace with what he sees in the mirror. Now, Buddha took it to that level, like, we don't kill insects here, and and we get it, but there's a reason why he is a little more advanced than a lot of us, because I saw a spider yesterday and it was game on. Right? And I'm still here, so what happened? Right? So the point is that we keep moving forward. Spirit is saying, look at the 3 and 1, 4 and the 4. It's 4 and 4. This is what you hear. This is the polarity. But as we've said on this channel before, the dragon that you feed is the one that wins. Now you can continue to cycle yourself back into this karmic stuff and all that stuff, or you can get on your path. Now, a lot of you are in the disclosure community and the ET community and all of this, and I get it. But do not get stuck in that pattern of living your life about needing disclosure and this and that. You're talking to yourself. Let's talk about what's inside of you. Okay? Now, viewed from a higher perspective where we understand and we see all of this, spirit will not say, why are you believing that? Spirit will say, oh, why are you distracting yourself? This is what we talk about. When you step into spiritual maturity, you understand your sovereignty, you start asking different questions. You're not asking, why did Billy Bobby, do that? No, it's why am I choosing to distract myself? Now, if you're struggling to see, well, how was I distracting myself when yesterday, UPS guy did it? Well, then you need to get back to square one, which is going back into the self, because you can't understand letter P if you're struggling at letter A. And where we are plugged into all this false reality, we need to start unplugging. And it starts by turning away and starting to look where? Inside. Yeah, you can reach out to your friendly local readers and healers like me, like, hi, and you'll come get extra hugs and hot beverages and we'll chat, messy bun style, right? And I will let you know I'm here representing what? The side of you that is taking ownership, stepping into reality. And that side doesn't look at you as a victim. It recognizes what you have experienced and it speaks to the emotions that come from that. And it speaks to you and it hears the narrative, and we're here to comfort and all of that. But we don't leave you there. We say, well, let's take a look at what's going on. That's what you get in return. And how cute. Look, Spirit's like, well, let's take a look at what's going on. She's like, right? And so this is what a lot of people are starting to do now. This is the choice Spirit is asking you. And it's funny because they're showing this guy. This is the same guy I looked at when they heard the name Jeremy. I was like, who's Jeremy? Spirit is saying, for example, Jeremy, unless your name's really Jeremy, then shout out. Somebody loves you. Yay. Spirit is saying, look at Jeremy. It's so funny. As I look down again, he seemed further away. Wow. The aversion that a lot of us are carrying to love. It's crazy. One time I was hanging out with a coworker and I was like, oh, I love you. I said something like that. And I literally felt the energy of love boomerang right back at me. I was like, oh, and I told him, I was like, whoa, you gotta let somebody in over there, buddy. Right? This is what we're doing energetically. And as I said, you had to let somebody in. And now I see this guy coming in. He's like, did I miss something? Right? Because when you make such choices at the conscious mind decision level, like it could be something as simple as, oh, well, maybe Jay's talking about something. Let me follow that up. Oh, let me ask God to, tell me a little something. What you're doing, even though you don't see it in the physical yet, what you're doing is you are releasing certain chokeholds that you have in your consciousness around certain things. And you're allowing pathways to open. And then what can manifest for you? Because this is all a world of your making. What can manifest for you? Somebody. All of a sudden, he's like, oh, excuse me. Oh, am I in the wrong room? Where did you come from? Who are you? Oh, don't worry, sir. What are you holding? These books. Okay, let's talk. Right? So we're looking at, oh, they're saying show the clearing card. The clearing card. I'm trying. Where was it? Right? We're out here trying to help you clear the way. Me looking for the clearing card and finding I heard the car I was gonna say finding the karma card, but I heard the trauma card. Okay, well there it is. Yeah, that's everybody's excuse. And trust me, I know I've lived a million traumas in this lifetime, and I'm still here. I wouldn't, how could I do this work if that, the faded card? I guess, maybe. It has to be because I don't know I'm still alive. Okay, well, anyway, you guys saw the card earlier. Every time I ask a question, they show me this is the teacher card. And I always say it. Yeah, my teachers, they kept me alive in this lifetime. So just so you know, a courtesy of, right? But Spirit is showing me this Jeremy guy saying Jeremy is ready to step into his Buddhahood. But look at him needing to recognize his inner child along the way, his trauma child, the parts of him that are kind of off to the side that he needs to pull in, right? And you will always have what it is that you need. The problem is we cannot move faster than what we're able to process psychologically, because when you start doing your shadow work and stuff is going to come up. But look how we looked at it and we put it to the side because Spirit's like, we got you. All we want to know is that you want to do this. All right. So let's end this soon because this week is, I guess, coming up. Let's see. Look at this three or this three. One's in the reverse. This one recognizes those who look, it's like pulling itself here. I'm like, why is this card so weird and heavy? It's not. It's in alignment. Like I said, some of you have already gone into alignment. You didn't I say it earlier? You're already in alignment and your teachers are working with you. Here's the Hierophant. Look at her little fairy friends working. You're already there. You already made the choice. You're on the bus. And then this week, Spirit is going to be, oh, this card's kind of wiggling. Why is it doing a little thing? Spirit is going to be working with others, not just those of you watching here. Other people will get their messages through their dreams, through other things. I don't know. It's just some of you tend to, this is just a channel I've asked God to speak through. And so if someone comes to the water hole here, then they can receive it too. But Spirit is saying this week they're going to be talking to some of you. And here we have the Seven of Wands card. It's a beautiful card. It can be about defensiveness or it could be about recognizing one's vantage point. What I'm seeing here is this person is sitting down and like, all right, I don't even see a chair. They're just crouching. They're like, all right. And some of you may find you're between a rock and a hard place, or you've made, look at these seven wands actually now look like it's some type of chair that he's on. Some of you may be like, how am I even here? I'm suspended in my madness here. Spirit's like, we got you. Those are going to be the ones that are going to be the easiest to convert. Now, notice they said convert. You guys are very precious because you can be converted either way. If you're in your victim era, which we've all been for lifetimes, 2000 years at least. If you're in your victim era, you're going to be converted by all those people online who are telling you all sorts of stuff. If you're in your pull my big boy, big girl panties up or underwear or whatever people are doing these days, what I'm trying to say, then you're going to be like, tell me more. Tell me more about how I can save myself. Now we see that as saved. Over here, people are like, I can't be saved. No one's coming, or I'm not even thinking about it. Over here, taking responsibility, people are like, how can I save myself? This doesn't even have, it sounds religious. It doesn't have to be. How can I rescue myself from false belief? How can I stop having these false self-concepts so that I can stop manifesting painful worlds? How can I save myself from myself? From the higher perspective, Spirit is saying you don't have to save yourself because nothing's actually wrong with you. You just believe something's wrong with you because you believe in separation. The problem is already solved. The problem is your separation mindset, believing you're out here alone, that you're a body, you're in control, you're on your own, abandonment, everything. When the reality is like, oh, who said that? God's like, I never said that. I don't know where you got that from, but anyway, listen, come eat though, because dinner's getting cold. Spirit's not out here entertaining this at those high levels. But we do have our lovely guides and angels who come down into our frequency and join us in our false beliefs. So false, but so believable that we're hurting other people because of these beliefs. Okay? So come and I heard them say, get merry. Come and turn your other three, right? You can go the path of being here, or you can continue to cohort with falseness. If you feel, for example, if you feel less than, if you feel forgotten by society, if you feel like you're in the low totem pole and you're a young man, you're struggling with women, guess what community you're gonna find joy and camaraderie in? The incel community on YouTube, the alpha pill community, red pill community. Oh, women need this and that. That's you right there. Because of what? Not because of truth. These fools are talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. You're following that because you have an emotional unmet need. You need to come back home. Spirits. Somebody's talking to somebody out here. If you feel like you're a victim and the legal system and you did that and you even put a certain race to that or whatever, you're out here on these news stories and you're getting yourself up in arms and you got to say something. You got to put it. You're not feeding into anything that has any reality. You're just finding your own unmet needs outside in what you see on TV. You need to come back home and get right with yourself. If some of you are out there like, oh, I don't need a man because men are dogs and they're this and I'd rather a bear and blah, 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 blah. Guess what? You have unmet needs that you are feeling in your feminine expression. You're struggling with the masculine expression of yourself inside, and you're going to manifest these horrible situations outside with men and or masculine presenting women. And guess what? You're going to go to war and you're going to be doing all that stuff with the genders. Come back home. I can go on and on and on and on and on with what people are doing outside and engaging with themselves through. Engage with yourself through TV, through social media, through all this. Go ahead and keep doing it, but you're wasting your own breath, playing out with your own emotions online and you haven't noticed it. You're wasting your breath getting into romantic relationships with your own debt, with your own doubt, with your own unmet needs for love and security. That's all. And then you're blaming. This is all your stuff. Spirit said, come back home and get right with yourself. No matter what you put out there, if you're at war with anything, come home and get right with yourself because you're playing outside with your own consciousness. Your own consciousness is going to be made manifest in this world because what? This is a world that literally materializes, brings form, people, places, things, situations, ideas to what? Give you the sovereign, multidimensional co-creator being who has its own belief, what you believe to be true. God has given you the gift to work it out on this planet by giving you time and giving you space. Two concepts that do not exist, but they do here on this planet to do what? Work it out. So if you want to, this is the heaviest card in this deck. It's the integrity card. If you want to go the get off that circus of your own making, come. They said, knock, knock. Come and wake up and get right with yourself. Okay. So anyway, this is going on this week. It's always up to you because you are the sovereign one and you will always receive what it is that you are asking for on some level. You don't like what you're receiving, you don't like what you're seeing, you don't like what you're experiencing, then you need to get right with yourself and learn about that self-concept that you are carrying. Are you a victim or are you a sovereign being? Now, you may not be able to see the difference between that. You may still be in victim consciousness to the point to be like, oh, so I asked for this. So that little 6-year-old asked for that. Well, listen, take a step out of that, right? Go get a past life regression. Come see me. In a second, we'll show you. Oh, you saw a 6-year-old. No, actually, I'm sitting with that 6-year-old soul. And this is a grown man here having this conversation and telling us hook, line, and sinker what they came down here and they wanted to do. Okay? So you have to understand there's a plan to this, but you may not need to know the plan right now, but what the message is for you this week and moving forward, and they're coming through hot and heavy, guys, with this message, is that you need to look at yourself. It's the answer is inside you, not anybody else. You can find your friendly local healers who will come and assist you on that, but any guides that are guiding you outside of that, to get into the blame game, to the victim, to the this and that and that and that and that, and not have any sense of source and the love of God and showing you how you are loved beyond your ability to conceive, you don't need to waste time with that because that's going to be representing your egoic self. When you make a choice for self-love, self-acceptance, I am, and then you have that self-concept, and I am the divine self, I am within and of source. I and my Father are one, but he is greater than I, right? I and my creator are one, but he is greater than it is greater than I, whatever your words are, right? When you get on that path, you will start to see and experience a whole new world. Why? Because it is your self-concept. We've said it many times. It is your self-concept that directs the molecularization of energy around you to take form and present to you. So if you're watching this video and if you're still here, hey, hi, then you can be sure that there is a part of you that is vibrating strong enough to bring this message in manifested form to you. And once again, you have the choice. So anyway, I'm gonna go now because I have to actually clock in for work. God bless. We're still working. Anyway, God bless you guys. And if you'd like to work more closely with me, you let me know. This is literally what I do. We do ascension work here, and we get to the we work at the level of consciousness, higher consciousness. So yeah, to bring correction to the perceptions of the mind. In other words, we come to heal. Healing has nothing to do with outside of you. It is the healing of the mindset that will, like I said earlier, create changes in the world around you and all of that. All right, God bless you, and have a great week. Keep an eye out for any of these lessons and coming in for you. Okay. Oh my God, I was talking so fast. Okay, bye.